What is up, Team Boosted? Welcome to another episode of, well, this time it's the Datsun. We are going to be making the Datsun wider, lower, faster, basically better in every way. As you can see right now, it's seen better days. This is a build that we kind of just did as proof of concept, much like the Porsche, and they didn't really finish it. Now it's time to actually finish it. The suspension comes tomorrow, the fenders come tomorrow, the turbo comes on Thursday, but there's still things we can do. We're going to redo all of the coolant lines. We're going to show you guys how to add an external oil cooler, because we need to put one on this. If it's going to see, you know, 400 plus horsepower, we're going to want some sort of way to cool the oil down. It's actually really easy to do. That's not going to happen today, but we are going to show you that. And then we're going to make all new AN lines for the coolant, because our new ball bearing turbo is, of course, coolant cooled, so, or water cooled, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to get started. Devin's got to weld some fittings to, basically this is the return, this is where the thermostat is, and this is the water pump, and there's a fitting that we got to weld on that. That lets us use AN lines, really easy to do, and really safe and effective. So we're going to do that. And then hopefully by tomorrow, this engine will be in the car and we'll get our suspension in the mail, and then we can just chop up the fenders and add that right away. We want to go fast with this because we are going to wide body the 911, and we want to have both done by the time summer comes around so we can bring these cars to some shows. And we have to finish the Datsun by the end of the month because that's when it's getting wrapped. So we have a lot to do. We already went to the, we spent all day trying to get these AN fittings and we got the wrong stuff.
Yep, 3.5 hours of driving around.
That's because we were going to do -6 and -8, but we decided to go -8 all the way around. We want this to be as cool as possible. This is a high performance, high flow head, so this needs to stay cool. We could even probably go to -10, but our local hardware store doesn't have fittings that big. We didn't want to go to the speed shop, so we'll see if this works, and if we think we need to make it bigger later, we will. Yeah.
Speed shop fitting is super expensive anyway.
Yeah, speed shop, it's good, but they charge you like $1 billion, so. Alright, this is what you want. Now, it's not a TIG welder, so it's not going to be beautiful, but it's not bird shit, which is what you're worried about with the MIG. You just want good penetration, which clearly has because it melted everything, but you don't want to burn through, and you don't want splatter. This is no splatter. This should be liquid tight, and once it's cold enough to check, we will. But with the right technique, you don't need a TIG welder for everything. I mean, luckily both of these pieces were steel, so that makes it a little easier. I think this is good, and this is made out of the same shit as the other piece, so it should be all right.
Where do you put the ounce, right?
This side's much easier. We don't have to weld anything. We can just screw. This is screw in 1/2 inch NPT, 3/8 NPT, and these just go to -8. AN lines, so I think we're going in and then out here, and then on the way back it's going to make a stop to the turbo and then go into the top one. Way better than what we had before, which actually I have over here. Check this ugly shit out. These are aluminum too, so like if these rub together enough, they'll just start having holes, and then they're very hot, so I had all this like heat wrap on it. It's just stupid. Shouldn't have done that. We're basically just making the lines at the right length that we need now, and just in case anybody is new watching these videos, we're going to show you our favorite method of slicing these lines, because everyone needs to know about it. It's the best. Don't waste your money on special tools. Don't waste your time with tape. We're just going to show you.
One slicey boy.
Exactly. We'll show you what Devin means.
Always wear safety glasses.
What? No, you don't need to wear safety glasses.
No. This is our slicey boy.
Oh yeah, so this is what you do. This is a tile chisel, and you don't need tape or nothing. You just smash it with the hammer. And look at how...
No frayed ends, it's not exploding. Didn't take a lot of effort.
Yeah, so save your money, get one of these. They're like 10 bucks at your Home Depot. Save yourself a lot of time. Okay, so we're moving on from that hose stuff to, well, we opened this after we realized that some people actually like unboxing videos. This is the new suspension. You want to pick one of those up? This is going to let us lower the car to the proper ride height. It's also going to give us clearance for the wheels. This is because the stock suspension has these big perches for the springs to sit on. This just has these, the really low profile. So the fact that this is like an inch inwards, or like more than that, those perches are freaking huge.
Yeah.
It gives us like an additional 2 inches of clearance for the wheels, which is important because we got 16 by 10s coming. And so these the camber plate is connected to the pillow mount, so we don't have to weld in camber plates, which is why we chose these ones. It still has 30 levels of adjustable damping, so that's good. Dampening, whatever the fuck it's called, I don't know. And in addition to that, we may or may not install this R200 LSD limited slip that's been just in our living room for over a year now. We've been waiting to do the suspension to put this in, but this is going to be very important if we're going to try to make 500 horsepower, which we should be able to do with E85. Also, we got the fender flares. These are 3-inch flares, so we're going to add 3 inches of clearance on either side. These are the ZG replicas from the Z store, so they're not exactly as bad as eBay ones, but it's not a body kit by any means. This is just going to widen the car. I don't even think you can call it wide bodies. I don't know. It's wider than it is, so sign your own definition. In addition to that, guys, shout out to Maxwell Mason, a subscriber who sent us an actual blow-off valve for the Porsche. We will be installing this HKS blow-off valve. It's sequential, just vacuum source, no adjustable, no bullshit, and should make some mad JDM noises. Truly JDM too, because this is made in Japan. We can't even read the instructions, but we're a couple of smart guys, so we should be able to figure it out. Yeah, so speaking of the Porsche, I got something to show you. So sometimes when you try to improve systems, you actually just mess it up, and that's kind of what we did here. Now this could be a few different issues, and I think I have a pretty good idea of what's going on. It doesn't seem to leak when it's running, but as you can see, we have oil pouring out of the tailpipe, and there's even some in the compressor housing. And what we think is happening is that when it's off, the oil that's all the way up to the pump is running back down and just filling the turbo past the point where the seals can hold it, and it's leaking out. Like I said, it doesn't seem to do this when it's running, so I feel like that's definitely what's happening. I have a different pump with a check valve in it, so I'm going to install that. It's a little bit bigger, and we'll see if that fixes it. If it doesn't, I'll put an actual check valve in it, and if that doesn't fix it, then when we did that 20 psi pull with the vacuum leak, the turbo may have overspun, and it has blown seals, so might have popped the turbo, but I don't think that's the case. But gonna try to fix this before I install that new wastegate spring and make that tuning video we were talking about.
Yeah, it sucks when you go to fix shit and just make it worse, but it happens.
Going up the driveway now. The Datsun, it is in the garage, and that's a good thing because by the time it leaves, it's going to be wider, it's going to be faster, it's going to be new and improved. So we got our oh no, I'm not wearing shoes, I just stepped in a bunch of oil. Gross. Yeah, so we got our welded on AN fittings here. We're waiting on this line because this is going to be the coolant feed for the turbo. The turbo comes tomorrow. We're mocking this all up, and then we're just going to drop the engine how it is into the car with the turbo, everything all set up how it's supposed to be. In the meantime, Devin has his work cut out for him. Look at this wiring nest, but since there's no engine in here, it's the best time to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be super easy. And with the new turbo, we're thinking that a gravity drain will be enough because of the location. So we're actually able to get rid of this pump, and we're gonna throw that in the Porsche.
Yeah, this is the pump that I was talking about. This thing it's big and it's loud, but it's an absolute beast. So if this can't scavenge the oil and keep it out of the turbo, I'm pretty sure the turbo in the Porsche is needs a rebuild.
It's also got the built-in valve that JP was talking about.
Yeah, so it should never flow the other way. So like even when you turn it off, as long as it's a vacuum tight seal, which it's going to be, I'm going to make new AN lines for the Porsche, it shouldn't be able to flow back down to the turbo. This should be the solution if the turbo is not blown. So I'm going to install that. We got to wait on the HKS valve because we can't weld aluminum. So I got to buy a pipe with the right adapter in it. But I'm going to get started on that. Devin's going to do this, and then next video we're going to install those coilovers, and the engine's going to be in the car. We're going with EDIS 4. I forgot to mention that.
Screw distributors.
The only reason we weren't going to do EDIS was because EDIS 6 we heard has an RPM limit of around 7,000, which might be a tad low. That's about where we'd want to run. However, the EDIS 4, during testing, those seem to top out at like 8,200, which is more than enough. So we're going to hook that up. There was a 1990 Ford Ranger with this engine that used EDIS 4. So one trip to the junkyard, we should get everything we need, except for the module, which was contained in the ECU at the time, but I bought that online from a Ford Escort. So should be able to get everything to get rid of this distributor. The one weird thing about that is that the oil pump in this car is powered by the distributor. So there's like a dummy distributor you put in it. It's like, I don't know, I don't really know what it looks like. I'm assuming if it's factory, it's not a fake distributor, but it's something that spins the oil pump gear, which obviously is very important. In addition to that, I bought the thing. What the fuck is it?
It's the wrong side.
Oh yeah. I bought the adapter that's going to let us make an external oil cooler possible. It's got a thermostat, so it won't direct oil to the front cooler until 190 degrees or whatever. I'll show you guys how to do that when that comes in. We need to move quickly, like I've said in the past, because this is getting wrapped in like 2 or 3 weeks time. Hopefully our wheels are made by then. Having some issues with that company already. They just moved location, so I guess it's not their fault, but I bought the wheels. Well, I tried to on Monday. I couldn't, so then I did yesterday.
They're officially paid for.
But they said they were going to resend me the receipt yesterday, and they didn't, so I checked this morning. It's still not there, so I guess I got to call them again. They're quoting 2 to 3 weeks on the wheels. I don't know if that's going to actually happen.
They sound pretty confident on the phone, but they're not off to a great start. So.
No, so going to start cleaning this up, going to fix the Porsche, and then we just have parts flowing in. We're going to do suspension tomorrow.
Yeah, it should go pretty quick. As long as we get those wheels in on time, I don't think we're going to have a problem.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for this one. We're wrapping it up a little bit early considering the amount that it seems that we got done in this one, but it's because we have an absolute ton of stuff to do, and we want to try to not have the videos be like 30 minutes long. They're about to get way more interesting. The turbo comes in tomorrow, the suspension's going in, everything's going to be great.
Yeah, we're just keeping you guys updated as we go.
And Devin's going to pick a winner for this video's giveaway. If you guys are not familiar with our channel, we give away products from boostedshades.com every single video. That's also the best way to support us, guys. Even if you don't win, please head over to boostedshades.com and check out what we have to offer. It is what makes these builds possible.
Alright, this video's winner is Mohad Hari.
Okay, you can hit us up at Teamboosted at boostedshades.com or through any of our social media pages. We will get back to you and ship you your prize. If you guys are interested in winning the giveaways, all you have to do is like, subscribe, and comment. Sometimes we ask you guys things basically every time. You don't need to answer them. Any comment is eligible, but feel free to answer the questions if you'd like. So this video's question is interesting. Coming this summer, I mean, we still have the Jeep and all sorts of stuff to do, but it's not out of the question to add a project once these cars are a little bit more complete. You remember a while ago we were talking about an E30. We were still interested in looking for one. However, a while back there was a super clean one that was cheap. The only reason we didn't buy it was because we just have so many projects, but the price was right and we should have done it because I looked recently and I can't find anything like that in the price range. And that seems to happen a lot with cars.
So this video's question, we want to know if you guys have ever encountered a deal that you regret passing up on.
That's all you gotta do, leave that in the comment, or you can comment anything and subscribe and like, and you guys are eligible to win stuff. And thanks for watching.
As always, guys, we'll see you next time.